Do you recall how you got the job on that show?
Oh, do I have to go through the Harv Bennett story? Yes, I went to a party in my neighborhood, and he showed up, and everybody in the neighborhood was so excited because a real live producer was there, and I got to meet him, and he found out that I had all those credits already, and he said, "Do you want a job on the show?" And I said, "Yeah." I hardly ever said no. Seriously, because in my mindset, this was something I was doing. I had to earn money, so we lived. So, and then it turned out to be pretty much a turning point, because of meeting Aaron, who I worked with many times, and writing the Mod Squad script that was considered the best thing I'd ever done. I didn't think it was the best thing I'd ever done, but it got incredible reviews.
So this is In This Corner, Saul Albert?
In This Corner, Saul Albert, yeah.
And what was that episode about?
Well, it was me being, what's the word for what it was? I was writing about downtrodden people living in terrible circumstances, and they needed somebody to help them and save them. I didn't know I was doing something new for television, that this was not just a Mod Squad story where they went out and they got the bad guys and they got back. This was a story about real issues that didn't have answers. And I came up with an answer that I made up, and it was considered so amazing that it got write-ups all over the whole United States. And it got me a nomination for a Writers Guild Award.
So then 1969, you became a story editor on Mod Squad.
Yeah. A point here is about the whole idea about women. Mm-hmm. Little by little, I was starting to see that there were a few women, especially the ones I met on Peyton Place. And I think everything that I'm saying and the way I responded to things had to do with the fact that I didn't really think I belonged there, because it was a man's world. I mean, I was always working with men, and except for Peyton Place, when I actually could work with women, and it was so wonderful. Mm-hmm. So all of these jobs, I felt like I did the job, and I didn't really get into the business until I got into until Mod Squad. Mm-hmm.
So what was it about Mod Squad that you actually felt you fit?
Well, because I was inside. I was not just I wasn't a writer for Mod Squad per se. I was a story editor. I was now on the business end. And it also was my introduction to Aaron Spelling, who was very much in my writing life. And he welcomed me. He was so nice to have a beautiful woman come on the show. He didn't mention anything about writer or story editor. So that's when I really decided I really wanted to learn the business. And that's where I could, because I could study everything. I was with the producers all the time, and I was on the set a lot, finally. And I was rewriting scripts. So that's where I learned all the things that the producers do. The story editor was that they would get a script from a writer, and they weren't happy with it, and they wanted it rewritten. So guess who got to rewrite it? And the truth of it is, and that's why what happened later on and now, that staff writing on practically every show, because there's a consistency. The writers who came in outside to write a show never quite got it, because there was a consistency to the mood of the thing, the actors themselves, the way they played parts. And of course, being there, I knew it. I knew how to write for these characters. The outsiders thought they could write for them and couldn't. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. So that was the job. I was rewriting writers, and then I wrote a couple of my own scripts.